Today I actually done a much better job of remaining patient until I almost chased the trade. Coming into this morning, everything looked good for shorts. So on the daily, you can see here we have another red day down. Prior market high was here, prior day low, and pre-market high and pre-market low was here, prior day low and pre-market low were here. So we were in this range of the last day's candle and everything. So I was looking, we could either go higher because there's not much of a wick on this 1 hour on this daily candle here, or we can continue to go lower. That was the two options that I could see. We could also chop around a little bit because we have FOMC today. So I wasn't sure if today was actually going to be a trade day or not. So on the 4 hour, we still had this box that I drew out yesterday that I was like, okay, we could move up into that. I really didn't have anything else other than like a small shelf right through here. And that was the support that I could see holding, which is right there with pre-market low and prior day low. So then on the 1 hour candle, you can see we've got the same support through here that's on the 4 hour. We kind of done this M pattern right here, and this is what I was looking at playing out. We were up here, kind of like a doji candle actually before the market opened. So I was like, okay, if we can get down, this could be like an M pattern or something, like a continuation lower there. The 15-minute is kind of boring, but it kind of gives you an idea of what I was looking at. So this chop right through all of this, let me draw it out right here, is what we were having overnight. Basically all of that is what I was seeing overnight. So I was like, okay, I want to see something outside of this, either up or down. You can see we went white, green, white, green, white, green, white, green, white on the VWAP there. And all of this is since the market opened. This is back at 10 o'clock. This is a 10 o'clock candle here. So this is what I was looking at this morning when I first came in. All right, so on the 5-minute, here we've got, you can see the same kind of chop range that I was talking about on the 15-minute there. We opened up and we pushed higher. We put in our high. We pushed down. Today is different than yesterday because we actually have green candles. Yesterday's was all red. So it was like green, red, Christmas tree. But the price finally pushed down and then bounced back up. So I'm going to go to the 5-minute here and show you that, or the 1 minute and show you that. So as I was trading or looking, this is what we saw. We saw red down, green up, red down, up to the midline and reversed and then came down. So this was a kind of a sign right here. I'm like, okay, we're chopping along VWAP. We tried to push higher. We came back. Then we pushed a little bit higher, lower low, or lower high, and then we broke down. What I didn't like was that we hit the orb range here and closed right back inside of it. And then we kind of done this little sword right here. I'm actually going to make this a little bit bigger so it's easier to see. Then we done this little sword right here, and then we had this candle. So I'm like, I don't know what's going to go on here. If we break clean, I'll wait for the retest and take it. So then we broke. And then as we broke, I was like, okay, I want to wait for a pullback to the orb to take the trade. And then we pulled back a little bit, and we went lower. And then we pulled back. So as this was in, I always draw my line. So my orb actually had a shelf right here. And then we had a fair value gap between this green candle right here and this red candle, which also had no wick. So I drew this one in here. So I was like, okay, this is the area I wanted to take a short. So price pushed up, pushed up, pushed up. This candle opened up strong, and I'm like, okay, I'm not so sure about that. And then it closed like that. This candle opened, pushed up a little bit, and immediately sold down. And I didn't want to rush anything. I didn't want to be rushed trying to click on everything. I was already kind of nervous about missing the move, contemplating on whether I wanted to even take a trade today or not, and decided ultimately to wait at this time. And then we sold down. This candle was like, okay, I'm glad I waited. And then we pushed down again and pushed back up and then sold down hard. And I'm like, crap, I've missed this trade again. And I got to try to find another way to make the trade if I'm going to take a trade. After missing this trade right here, which was in my mind the perfect setup, we didn't quite hit this one, but we did reject hard. This was a phenomenal entry right here. And it just made me really antsy and really wanting to not miss the trade. And I started taking my notes, and I was like, today's just going to be a no trade day, and because this is, in my mind, was just going to rocket on down. So then we came down to the pre-market low, and then we had this candle here, and I was like, okay, we're bouncing. Then we had this candle here, we pierced. We had this candle that rejected down. We had this candle that rejected down. We did have a bigger wick here, but I was like, you know what? If we break below this body of this candle right here, I'm going to take the short. It is risky, but I did have one advantage. My stop was up above this shelf here. And so this one had already been touched. My stop was like right here. And I was like, okay, if it comes up, I'll even add in an entry if we pierce this shelf and drop. So I was risking like 400 bucks, and I was willing to take that trade because of the choppy consolidation kind of area that we saw here. Because if you look on all these other ones, it was down, a couple of candles down, one candle up, down, and then we up. Nothing real like sideways right through here. So you could actually draw a box around this as well. I did enter early, but that's kind of like our chop range right there. And then, there's another FVG from here to here that these were piercing into. So that was all the factors of why I took the trade here. I still felt a little bad about taking the entry, so I'm not going to grade myself a 10 out of 10 today. We'll say like an 8 out of 10, because I still kind of forced this trade a little bit. So after I entered the trade here, we pushed up a little bit, didn't quite get into this area here, and then reversed and these are strong candles right here. So when my target was right here, but I was actually looking, because these were such strong candles after this kind of a move, I was like, wait a minute, where could price go? Where does my next target need to be? And for that, I was looking at the daily through here, because we have the fair value gap right through here. It's like right here. Let me draw it to make it easier to see. From like right here to right there. And that was like my target where I could push price further down if I wanted to. And so it wasn't much. I'm not talking about a lot. It was just a little bit. And then wait to see what price done, once it got down here. Ultimately, I decided to leave it. It got ticked out there. And then we pulled right back up into this box. So this would have been a pierce for another entry, and as you can see, we did go a little bit higher, and then we sold back down again. I could have took the same trade pretty much. My entry was here, exit here. Entry could have been here, exit would have been a little bit lower down here. May have been hit, may have not, I don't know. You can see we went lower, and then we're kind of in this range now where I wouldn't want to be trading. We're also it's almost 11 o'clock now, so I wouldn't want to be trading past that anyways. But this was a valid trade to take down, so that would have been double the trade. So I made 400 here. That could have been 800. Had I taken this one here, I would have made 400 somewhere around again. So like $1,200 on the day, and I'm walking away with only 400 of it. It is what it is. Thankfully, it is a green day, and thankfully I didn't handle the trades like I did yesterday and being too antsy with everything. I was able to remain calm, cool, and collected for today. Today was not perfect, but it's a little bit closer to what I would like to have. Again, like I said, an 8 out of 10 for today. I took one trade, I had one win, and I had a couple of lessons through here about not having to be perfect, and a swift reaction is a good reason for entry. I would have loved to have entered right here and sold down. And just another reason why we keep getting better, we keep learning, and we keep doing what we can to perfect our trade. Today wasn't perfect. Like I said, I gave myself an 8 out of 10. But way better than yesterday. Way better. So yesterday I kind of went off the rails a little bit, antsy, emotional. I was able to wrangle all that in today. I did still make a couple of mistakes on the missed trades, and then I forced that one entry. Could have got a better entry on it if I'd have waited for a pullback. Learned a little bit about it doesn't have to be dead set center of my rejection zone or my shelf to be able to take the short, but a reversal from that candle that approaches it. So that's something I'm going to be paying more attention to. But the important part in this game of life is that we build wealth and we protect our time. So today I've got this trade that's out of the way. I'm going on to do other things today. I've got photos at a house, and then my son has baseball this afternoon, so I've got a lot going on. And today is breathable. Today's not like yesterday. Yesterday I was still a little bit antsy. Even though I walked away with a green day, I was nervous and upset about the way I portrayed my trading yesterday and the way I broke my discipline. So today's way more comfortable feeling, way easier to live with, knowing that I stuck to everything. I did risk a little bit more and by getting into that trade a little bit early, but still way better than yesterday. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe, leave a comment on it, share it with someone who you think would benefit from learning more discipline in their trading. So tomorrow I don't know if I'm going to be trading. I have an appointment. I've got a contractor going to one of my properties at 8 o'clock in the morning. So I don't know if I'll be trading tomorrow or not. Depends on what time I get back. So if I don't see you tomorrow, Friday it is.